So with that, let's jump in and take a little look at packs. So when it comes to packs, you've got several different things going on here. So we've got packs and lists. And as you're familiar with, you got a list across the top here, like this is my house list here, and then I've got my different packs. Now, these obviously can be, and hopefully you already know this, you can drag and drop them into any order that you like and arrange them, in that way. But there's some other questions that lead on from there is like as you look inside of packs, so if I come first of all here to my house list, and let's say I want to add a pack. Now this may be something that occasionally I find somebody who didn't actually know that you could add a pack this way. They're just used to copying packs or things like that. But you can actually add a basic, just a standard pack into your list, and you can have multiple different types that you can add in here. So let's say I could add in another main floor pack if I wanted, and I can drag and drop that up here where I want. I can rename this pack by clicking here and rename pack and so on. But when I open up this pack, you take a look inside here, one might ask the question of why is all of the stuff in this pack here? Why did these things come in and not others? And if I look in here and go to add application to this, you'll notice that there are certain things that are listed here, and there's also things that aren't listed here, like drywall maybe not be available here in my main floor pack. So what makes this list, show me the things that are related to a main floor, and what makes this order drive the way it is, and what makes this number of applications show up when I first add a pack? Related to that question also would be if you are not familiar, you also are able to add a list. Now, again, many of you may be more familiar with the idea that you can come to a list and you can copy it, right? Click here and copy list. But you actually can just add a raw list. So just like a blank or a new list in that. So if I come up here to the material list, right click and choose add list, that will put in a new list. Now, why is it that this came in with that collection of packs? And then of course, if you look inside of main floor, again, it has that same type of thing. So what drives those things? And that can be useful and helpful to know. So we're going to jump over here. That generally those controls are found over here in the profile tab. I'm going to come over here to the left side, click on profile, and come across the top here to containers. Now, containers tab is what drives pretty much all those settings I was just pointing at. First, let's go in the left-hand column here, the default packs for a new list. So whenever I add a new list, this currently is the collection of packs that get added. If I wanted an interior trim pack to also go along with that, I could select it here and an arrow over and have it part of the collection. I could also drag it up wherever I wanted to. In addition to that, I can also automatically rename these packs. So for example, if I wanted this to be my tiger and my lion and my bear, then I can have those renamed that way. So now if I come back over to my list over here, right click and choose to add list, my new list is going to come in with a tiger, lion, and bear. Now, keep in mind though, and this kind of leads us into that next discussion is if I right click on this tiger pack, you'll see that underneath it still is a main floor. So the pack type remains. It's so there actually is something special about a particular pack type. Same thing when I come here to a house and I choose to add a pack. I'm not just adding a pack that happens to be called hardware or happens to be called exterior deck. This actually is the type of pack that it is. And so that relates to what we're going to look at next. So coming back over to the profile, as we look into the center column here, you'll see what we have listed there of pack types. Final note over here that you're not limited to only one pack type being here, or actually I should say one use of a pack type. So I could add, say, main floor. I could add a main floor pack in here like 3 or 4 times. And so if I wanted that particular structure of a pack or that particular type of pack to be in here multiple times and I just rename it several different ways, that's totally acceptable. So down in the center column though, here we have our pack type. And when I click on, say, my main floor, this is going to show me those 3 different things that we were touching on earlier. First of all is what we call the default applications. So here is the list of all the applications that are available to use in the main floor pack. Notice the center column that has the count in it. That is how many of those applications will be populated into a pack whenever it is added, whenever a new one of those is added. So that would apply if you just added only one of those packs to an existing list, or it would also apply if you were adding a whole list, and of course you're bringing in one of those packs. So you can see here, I'm adding a deck connector, I'm adding a floor decking and a floor joist line item. I could add, by the presence of the one, I'm only getting one of them. If I had two, then I would get two of those line items. And then you can see a whole bunch of zeros here. So those items won't be added in. You can also choose as how they're renamed. So if you wanted some of those items to be renamed as something else, you could also have them renamed as they come into that pack when they get added. So those are controls that you can make there of what shows up. And if you really just want an empty pack, when you add a main floor pack or a interior trim pack and you just want it empty, then you would just set all those to 0 and you just get just an empty pack. Now the second one here is this radio button here for application sort order. And there's really kind of two things going on here. One over here is, here's a list of available applications. So these are applications that currently aren't available to be added. So if I'm back over here in my list and I come here to a particular pack, right click and I choose add application, only the items that are available to add will be shown here. So if something's not in that list, then I would come back to the profile, come and find that particular pack type, in this case, main floor, and come to the application sort order button. And here in this side over here, if I wanted band board to be available in the main floor, I could select it and move it over here to the left-hand side, and it's now been added to the bottom of the list. The second thing you can do is drive what order those applications show up in your particular pack. So here I have my main floor, and if I scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see I have wall assembly at the bottom. And that's why, if I take a look over here in my main floor, my wall assemblies are down here near the bottom of the list. Different from that, though, if I was to look at a main wall pack, you can see the wall assemblies are at the top of the list. So they're sorting differently. Same application, but because the pack type is different, they sort differently within that pack. And that's what's happening here in this section right here. When I come to main wall, come to application sort order, I can drag and drop these into whatever order that I want, and so that they reorder accordingly. So if I wanted a band board to be all the way at the top of the list, then I can move it all the way up and have it listed up there all the way at the top. So I could shift it up there to at the beginning. So drag and drop them into the order. Now, why this is significant is when you're running an itemized report, an IML type style report, then it's going to follow whatever the order is here. So if if you wanted Mudsill to be in your main wall and to be above the wall assemblies and for it to show on your report that way, then you would want to go to your main wall pack, find Mudsill, move it above the wall assembly line items. That way it displays here in the list area above, and then the report logic will also follow that same path. So that's kind of different things that you can control when it comes to the lists and the packs and so on. Other controls, though, that are more recent, if you haven't found these yet, this is another one that we've actually continued to build out, and actually just in the latest release that went out, we expanded it more, and that is come here and right-click either on a pack itself or on the list, and you can choose the option for managing those packs. So instead of just doing renames and things specifically here, you can come to Manage House Packs, and there's now 3 things that you can do here to make it a lot easier. You can rename, easily do renames, and maybe you're just a spelling correction or just a quick adjustment. You can rename all the packs all at once. Report multipliers, including a 0. So a 0 will actually turn off the reporting completely for a particular pack. If you needed to adjust that fast, you can do that here. And then delete packs. You can actually bulk delete packs now. So you could select different ones that say, hey, I had to get rid of these ones right here. And click OK. It's going to ask you to confirm that because you're deleting everything. But when you do, now those pull away. I've got no reports applied to that first one. So encourage you to leverage that as needed to, right click on the list and choose the option for manage house packs or whatever your particular list name is there. So then, as you think about this, one of the benefits of setting up on the profile tab back on the containers here, the reason you might set this up is it makes your template file a little bit more flexible as you need to make changes, or you're adding a new list. You can, if you needed to add 2 or 3 or 4 more lists, they're all going to come in the way that you have them set up. So that would be another advantage of setting those things up that way. Finally, just as far as something to touch on there, would relate to pack tags, and this relates to the concept of the report and pack feature, which you may be familiar with, but I'll just give you a quick demo. I'm going to come over here to, well, this is great. I'll just use this. This is kind of interesting. I'm going to go to my bands that I just made available in my main floor. I'll add a band board application and get that added into my list here. And let's say that I pick a product and I've got 400 linear feet of that. Maybe for whatever reason, this is a little bit odd, but let's just say, it just makes sense for me to call my band board while I'm doing my main floor. And I wanted to be able to show up here in my main floor so I know that I have it, but I don't want it to go in my report that way. So one of the things I could do is I could right click on this line item here and I could choose report in pack, and I could choose to have this report in, say, like the exterior trim pack. So now it has this little R on it, and it's going to report in the exterior trim. One of the things that you can do is you can also, that concept of report and pack, you can set that up with several things over here in the profile. So wall assemblies, I could come to a wall assembly, and let's say that I wanted all my sheathing to report into a different pack. I could right click here and select a report tag and say I want to apply this, let's say we'll say this, I want to apply it. Well, I'll just use this, I'll borrow this one, this go now report tag. And so now I've applied that here. So I'm going to click OK. And so now I have that set up for that wall assembly. Now I could come over here to one of my packs and I'm going to add a report tag. And now right here is the go now report tag, and I'm going to select that. And so now that's been applied to my, let's see, where did I just put that? Sorry guys, I lost it and I forgot which one I did it on. Was it interior trim? Oh dear. Okay, let's see. Oops, here we go. Okay, and so now I've just really confused myself. There it is. Okay, sorry. A lot of you are just laughing at me right now. Okay, so my upper floor is what I put that report tag on. So here's my pack report tag, and I assigned it to go now. So the benefit here is when it comes to pack report tags is you can use a tag that's maybe a little more reasonable than go now, but you can use that, and you can now I can rename the pack. You're not dependent on the pack name. That's the main thing that we're getting at here is I can rename this pack. The pack doesn't need to be named go now. Like I can name it whatever I want. I can continue to rename it, and that way the report in pack feature will continue to work. So keep that in mind. You can add tags to your packs so that your report in features will work even if you do a rename on a particular pack. Report in pack can be used for a wall assembly, and they can also be set up maybe even more so commonly for a kit. So like looking over here in the kits tab, here's a great example, like my fascia with closed soffit kit. So we've got some report tags that are right here, and they are going to push my soffit material over into the exterior trim pack. So that way I can call my fascia with closed soffit kit in my roof pack. That way it's as people are framing out the roof, they have their fascia material. But as I call that kit, then it cascades and provides all this other stuff. But the things that I want to ship over in the exterior trim pack, it's going to send over there to that pack. So I could use the exterior trim report tag, which would give me the flexibility over here. Instead of, if right now this exterior trim pack doesn't have any pack report tags on it, it's just empty. So if I instead I actually added a pack report tag to it, and I called it exterior trim, which looks like maybe there already, yeah, I guess it already is. There is already one entry use in a different spot. But if I used it as exterior trim, then I could assign that to the exterior trim pack, and it would, regardless if I did a rename, it would be reporting into that location. So that's what we got for today. Quick review of those packs. So we'll leave the Q&A open here for a section longer. Again, if you have more questions, and I know we didn't didn't have the wall assembly side, but if you always, as usual, if you have questions on wall assemblies, totally reach out to us, use the chat feature on our website, or give us a call or send us an email. And we'll look forward to the next time that we can connect. So thanks again for joining in today, and we'll talk to you more next time.